Greg, hi, how
Hi,
are you?
how are you? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Did you just come down from Santa Barbara?
Yeah, from Montecito just now.
Wow. Was there any traffic?
It wasn't too bad.
So how'd you end up in Montecito? I mean, I know you drove there, but like, how did you end up like living there?
My first career was teaching French. And so I went to UC Santa Barbara and I majored in French, and then I lived in France, and then I taught French there for a little bit. And so from there, I got a job at a tasting room at the Santa Barbara winery back in '91. You know, I thought, oh, that'd be cool. Give tours, drink wine, have free crackers, you know.
Free crackers.
And then I got that job and I just completely fell in love. Like,
were you ever a wine person before that?
No, like in the way a college kid would be like, oh yeah, yum.
My parents were in Europe and I may have decided to throw a party. The only unfortunate thing was I did not realize that when you tell one kid, it goes to another kid, and then all of a sudden you have every private school coming to the house, and then your dad's Civil War pipe collection is missing. That was a lot of fun. My dad still says when he leaves for Europe, he goes, don't have any parties at our house. I go, I'm 36 years old, and I'm not gonna have a party at your house.
He's marking bottles with Sharpie pens.
I don't know what he's thinking. Like, they both still don't trust me. It's crazy. Anyway, I digress. So you're working in the wine company, and how does that shift into owning your own business?
Well, I was in the tasting room, and then I quickly became their assistant winemaker. I started this project in '96 with my former partner, Steve Clifton. We saved up 12 grand, and that's how we started this. Yeah, back in '96.
Wow.
And then slowly...
Wait, how old were you? Were you a kid?
26. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you start a wine company with 12 grand?
Just like you can do anything, I think. I mean, I think in your line of work too. I mean, you know, if you get into something,
well, you have to have a piece of land.
You hustle.
You have to
No, you just hustle. You know. So we purchase fruit. Yeah.
So you buy the grapes, and then how do you ferment and all that stuff?
And so then we were making the wine, but like the production part was like our background. I mean, our work really. As you know, we were both assistant winemakers. It's like two sous chefs or something, you know. And they're like, oh, let's make cupcakes at night or whatever. It's the same kind of.
Oh, that's funny.
Same kind of guerrilla food truck, like, let's figure it out.
But is it all about the grapes, or is it about the process, like the winemaker, how he does it with the grapes?
It's both. For us, in these models, it's really place is the paramount. And in ours is just kind of removal of self and raising the wines in a super vulnerable way. You know, if you're in a great environment, you don't need to do a lot.
So you've got your 12 grand, you've started your company, and how are you making money now?
Well, we had other jobs, which was helpful. We're making wine for other people. This is like late 90s. We always just kept putting the money back into the business. And so, we made a couple hundred cases the first year, then like 350, then 450. And the first time we got some good media attention, and then we kind of blinged out and we got each other's cell phones. That was like our first like...
Wait, how'd you get media attention? Like, would you...
Well, because we were selling wines direct, like Despago and Patina back in the day, and like, Michael's in Santa Monica.
But how did you get those accounts?
Just made an appointment, and then befriending sommeliers, and then just kind of sharing our story and telling our story. And they were like, yeah, we're super into it, and the wines are cool. And so then...
What was the first big account you had? Patina?
Michael's and Spago were the big ones, yeah. Michael's in Santa Monica.
Michael McCarty, sure.
Yeah. That was one of our first, with David Rossoff.
Yeah, Michael McCarty. And then, I'm assuming Shion.
Yeah. And then Spago was big, with the late
On Horn.
Mike Bonacorsi. No, this one. Yeah, it was like 97, 98.
But it's funny your big accounts didn't start up in Montecito.
No,
like Lucky's or place.
Yeah, it was Wine Cask Restaurant was like a big one for us. That's where our logo's taken from the ceiling of Wine Cask.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it? It's just a decal that was on the ceiling?
Well, yeah, it's a dark wood ceiling with gold stenciling.
Is it still there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a historic building of Santa Barbara.
Where is it?
It's called the Gold Room in Santa Barbara. It's on Anacapa, 800 block of Anacapa. The El Paseo.
Yeah, that's cool. Interesting. Did you come out originally as medium priced, high priced? What was your price point?
It was pretty high, but we went for it. If you want to be in a certain part of the market, you go for it. You don't just start, and if you get successful, then, oh, look, this is kind of working out. Now I'm going to ramp things up. At the time, our wines retailed for about $30, and which in '96 was kind of a lot. And some people were like, the old timers were like, whoa, don't get ahead of yourselves, kids, and whatever. But we're like, we always wanted to play there, and that was always our goal. And so we did it, and it worked out.
85, when I was born, was apparently a very good year for wine. And he has all these bottles, and we'll open one once in a while, but we don't know. It's 50-50. It's either garbage or it's still great, I went over to Candy Spelling's house the other day. I said, can I get a glass of wine? Because I'm a big wine drinker. And she goes, I haven't been in the cellar in years. It's like, let's go see what's in there. It was all Chateau Lafite, and I was like, I'm not opening a bottle of Chateau Lafite. She's like, I don't know who the is going to drink this stuff. It was an 81, and I said, well, let's at least open a split. I mean, it wasn't like bad, but I think it was about 7, 8 years past its prime.
So with you then with wine, was it the kind of germination of it with your parents and kind of that exposure? You're so into it now too.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason why, because for many years until, I guess when you're younger, you drink other harder stuff. I just started drinking red wine. That's all I drink now. But sometimes I drink white wine. But when you go to a steakhouse and you have like a hot steak and like that fumey wine where that goes up your nostrils and there's legs on it, like really heavy. Like I like that, and I hate when people serve red wine cold.
Well, no, I mean it's all super subjective too.
I guess
it's like as far as wine aging is subjective. It's easier for things to warm up than it is for them to cool back down. In a glass like this, the wine will kind of like warm up and kind of blossom for you.
It will still blossom if it's warm, right? Not warm, but like room temperature to start with.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, again, erring on the cooler side is common.
Right.
But there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever people are into.
Since you've been doing this for 30 years, what was the best year?
If I were to pick one, it would be this one that we just had. 21. It was long and cool and steady, just like spring and summer. Like here too, like it was never that hot. It was just like mellow.
So right now I have a 17 here. So what are people buying now? 17, 18?
17, 18, 19.
So 19 will be a little lower price than a 17 because...
They're all the same.
Wouldn't a 17 be more expensive because it's had more time? It's a...
No, we don't really do that so much. If so, it's like a few bucks. I mean, it's insignificant. It's not like, it's been an extra year.
Wait, even if it's corked, it doesn't get better over time? It's really just how long it was in the vat for?
It changes with time. Because of that and holding the wines longer, that's how one commands a higher price. And then supply and demand. There's a part where if there's only a few bottles left of said vintage, it is more valuable to people because there's only so much.
So if somebody goes into the liquor store, the wine store, whatever, would they be buying a 2017?
So I think in YourWineStore, which is so awesome, we have like different things there, right? So we have current release things, we've got some that are a little bit older, and then of course all the other projects in YourWineStore as well, that you're curating, for your packs, which is so cool because there's a beautiful diversity within the system of your wine store as well.
What's the highest price point and the lowest price point of your wine?
Of what I do? Highest is 80 for Machado Pinot. And then lowest is our wine called Diatom, which is another Chardonnay project we have, which is 30.
There has to be 1 year, one particular bottle that you produced and you're just like, that, I can never replace that again, or that was my favorite one ever.
Yeah, there are a couple maybe. Yeah, there's a Chardonnay from a vineyard called Mount Carmel that we used to farm.
Are there any bottles left?
Yeah, a couple. I've got like 3 or 4 at home. Yeah.
And that's it? It's gone?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could go online and see if you could find...
Yeah, probably. But then I don't know, something about the end of something or like nearing the end of something, there's also something poetic and cool about that.
Let's just say I wanted to try a really good bottle like that and I wanted to reseal it. Is there a way you can do that?
You can these days. There's
a company buy called, wax?
No, there's a company called Curated.
They make the
needle thing. Yeah. So that's how a lot of people.
Point.
So I know a lot of people that are into doing that. For me, there's something about like pulling the cork, and it's not the ceremony.
No, I
get
it.
It's not the ceremony, but it's the commitment.
It's the feeling also.
But I'm gonna open this for you.
No, I get it.
It's otherwise you're kind of like peeking in the window.
No, I get it.
Instead of opening the door. Following up on like tasting through an assortment of wines and curating wines, when you kind of reach out for that, like how do you normally look for wines? How do you normally find wines?
Well, YourWineStore.com is great. I curated a wine pack with my top choices of wine. I purposely had them fold the paper in half, cover up the prices, and cover up the name of the wine because I don't want to be skewed by going for the most expensive bottle or whatnot. And ironically, some of the less expensive bottles were my favorites. So it's totally randomly sorted. There's no rhyme or reason. It's the 6 best wines that I liked, and I tried 80 different wines. Generally, my taste skews towards reds. Luckily, I tasted them all, and then I looked and saw who makes each one, the price point, and it was a totally different, it wasn't like all expensive, all cheaper. It was just all over the board. It wasn't like we took a vote, like, okay, we all agree this one. There's like, they liked theirs, I liked mine. Some of them were on the same list, but it was just what I like, I just let them come for the party.
Yeah.
You have a great product. It was definitely on the list of one of my top favorites. It was definitely, and is one of my favorites.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. And hope it was your friends too. If not, let me know.
It was. It was. So guys, thanks for watching. If you're actually interested in purchasing one of these Josh Flagg wine packs, if you go to yourwinestore.com/Josh-Flagg, we have several different wine packs. Lower price, medium price, higher price. Let's say a fan of my show or whatnot, and they want to see what I'm drinking. This is the best way to do it. And enjoying this phenomenal, what is it, Machado.
Machado.
This wonderful Machado See, I just go by taste, not what I read in the magazines.